promise, I swear, I swear. Yeah, bitty. Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, rep the set, gotta rep the set, chase a chick, never chase a bitch.
What's up, guys? It's me, Ant Games, and welcome to a Xenoverse 3 discussion video. So I've been wanting to, I was gonna wait to do these kind of videos, but I've been seeing a lot of people been talking about Xenoverse 3, so I thought I'd jump on it because my Sonic Forces discussion video got a lot of views. So I thought my Xenoverse 3 wanted to get even more views. So yeah, today what we're gonna talk about is, for Xenoverse 3, we're going to talk about things I'd like to see for this first part. I'm going to do this in parts, but for the first part, I want to talk about things I'd like to see in the story mode. Okay, so starting off, first we're going to talk about, we're just going to do it in general, like what I would expect to see, what I think would be cool, and what I really, maybe not expect so much, but what would be cool to me. So first, I'm going to just talk about who the main villain could be. So, you already know, Toa and Mira, they were defeated because at the end of the game they kind of die by either your custom character or Goku. Whichever ending you got. Spoilers if you didn't play, oh well, you should know by now, it's been out for a year. But yeah, so you got Dragon Fisted by your custom and then they died. So then they had those two special endings, and I'll talk about those soon. But yeah, so you defeated Toa and Mira. So what I think should happen is, I know we're getting Deborah in the game now, finally. He hasn't been in the game before, but what they should do is, now that he's in Xenoverse 2, so, because he's definitely going to be in Xenoverse 3 if he's in this game, it wouldn't make any sense, but they should make him, one of the main villains, and he could team, maybe he'll revive Toa and Mira, or at least Toa, and then Toa can revive Mira later, and then maybe they can bring in, the super forms they have from Dragon Ball Heroes, that dark Toa and that Super Mira and stuff like that, and so they could bring that in, and then even the Deborah, they could bring that in, and then maybe even bring back Demigra if they wanted to, because I know he was in Xenoverse 1. Then that was the end. That was the last time we ever saw him, but it'd be cool if they brought him back too, and then maybe he could do what he was doing, with the whole supervillain thing, all that. It'd be interesting. So yeah. So anyways, those should be, the villains that should be in the game, Toa, Mira, Demigra maybe if they bring it back, but Deborah, I think Deborah should definitely be one of the newer villains that gets thrown in there to work with Toa and Mira, because then that would just throw in, a third character, plus he's related to Toa, so it would make sense, and then give them their new super forms. Now, another thing I think should happen is that with your custom characters, you should be able to choose what side you want to be on. So, for example, I remember when Xenoverse 2 first came out, there was all these trailers that were hinting at you'd be able to choose your path. Basically, it was saying change the future, you get to choose the future and all that stuff. But so what everyone was assuming is that you would be able to choose if you want to be a good guy or a bad guy. They definitely should do that for Xenoverse 3 though, where you can choose to be a time patroller, or if you want to work with Toa Mira and become a time breaker, which that would be amazing. Honestly, that would be the best thing. I would I'd love that if they did that. And then maybe if they throw Demigra in, then you could even have a super villain form. And now but another thing with that though is that it shouldn't be a one-time thing. So you make your character, and then if you choose time patroller as that character, then you can't go back and do the other endings either. You'd have to it shouldn't be where you have to make a whole new character to get the other endings. It should just be you can make one character, and then you can get all the endings, go back, play as much as you want, get every single ending if you really want to, and then that should really be it. You should be able to do that, get every form, because think about it, they could give you new forms. So you get Time Breaker form, you get the mask and all that, and then Time Patroller. Maybe you get the Time Patroller outfit from beating the Time Patroller mode, and then for the Time Breaker mode, you get the mask, and the Supervillain mode, you can get the Supervillain transformation, stuff like that, if you go with Demigra. But if they do Demigra, if not, then it could just be Time Breaker, Time Patroller, which would be cool, because then you can get the whole trench coat and stuff. Because I know, and as you get the whole trench coat and stuff, and then you can get the Time Breaker mask and all that stuff. So yeah. And also with the story is that okay, so for Xenoverse 1 and 2, what I noticed is that they had basically what Xenoverse 2 did is it filled in the parts that Xenoverse 1 didn't have. Because Xenoverse 2 was a way shorter game, but the final boss, it was definitely better and different. But what they should do is I don't know, maybe even So Toei Mirror, because we've gone through all of Dragon Ball Z now, and Super has like the DLC and stuff. But what they should do is maybe have Toei Mirror go as far back as to like the original Dragon Ball, and then work their way up to Super maybe, or just maybe not do all of Z, or maybe if they're planning to make this like the final game or whatever, or, like the best one, then maybe go from like the original Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super, and even into GT too. Like it would make it a way longer game. It'd be way more fun. But then also do things a little bit differently. So like I know in Xenoverse 1 and 2, like the Raditz scene and stuff was almost exactly the same. Like a lot of it was exactly the same. So what they should do is like they still go into the Saiyan Saga and stuff with Raditz, but they do it differently. So I mean, if they're gonna go through Z, because they have to have some parts of Dragon Ball Z. It can't just be Dragon Ball Super, and then GT, because then it wouldn't really do as good because Dragon Ball Z isn't in it. And then then they could maybe even do some of the filler for Z. I mean, maybe not. That's debatable. Like maybe give us Garlic Jr. Like give us some of the major villains though that were in filler, like Garlic Jr. Give us that Saga and stuff, like, and maybe even more movies, because I know because they didn't really have the movies in the. They had like the movie villains in the game, but they didn't really have like all the movie scenes and stuff. So like Gogeta, like they had Janemba, supervillain Janemba, but he was defeated by base form Vegeta doing Final Flash. Like that literally made no sense to me, and it was supervillain Janemba. So how did he get beaten by base Vegeta doing a Final Flash? That should not have happened at all. Anyways, what they should do is maybe bring in more of the movie part. So like you could team up with Gogeta. Like they have the whole cutscene for the fusion, and then Gogeta shows up and you fight against Janemba, supervillain Janemba or whatever, time breaker Janemba, whatever it is, and then you could fight against them. So that'd be really cool, honestly, to me, because if they brought in, just give us more content for it, but don't do it exactly the same as the first two games, because Xenoverse 1, it was I like the length of the story. I know I was playing for a while, but sometimes it felt like I needed to grind a lot. Well, actually, I don't even know if I did. I don't remember, but I know Xenoverse 1 had a pretty good length. But Xenoverse 2, to me, it felt way too short. I don't know, maybe I just beat it really fast, and it was the same length. I don't know, but it felt way shorter to me. But Xenoverse 3 should give us more stuff. So maybe go into the original Dragon Ball, because that'd be cool. Just going back to the original Dragon Ball, seeing like Time Breaker, King Piccolo, even Pilaf. I would die if they actually did that, Time Breaker Pilaf. So, yeah, anyways. Yeah, so basically what I was saying, like, just repeating what I said. I'm repeating myself here, but just go back into the original Dragon Ball, jump into some more of the movies maybe, because like I know they have all these movie characters like Android 13, Tapion, but they didn't say. But I don't know yet. DLC 5 isn't out yet, so for all I know, this could be in. But from what I've seen the announcements, there isn't going to be a story for this one, but there is going to be for the next DLC, which should be Ultra Instinct and Jiren, which that makes sense for a story, but there isn't really a story for like Android 13 and Tapion. So go into those movies and stuff, and go into the lore for those movies and all that. Go give us the scenes, give us the whole Hyruda Garn, make them CGI, like at least the most important scenes, like Future Gohan. Future Gohan, they could do it differently too if they want. Like if they're gonna go back into those, which they definitely should, but they just need to do it differently. That's really it. If they do it the same though, then it wouldn't be as good, because no one would like it if they did it exactly the same. So, but yeah, just give us more of that kind of stuff. Just go into more of the movies, and I know it's hard. I'm not saying that I expect them to go into Dragon Ball Super and then the movies too, because that would take a long time. It would have to be like heavily story based. It would take forever to make that, but like maybe not. But I know they have Dragon Ball FighterZ coming out this year, so if they're already starting to produce the game now, if they wait longer to release it, then maybe they could give us all this stuff. But yeah, anyway, I know it would take a long time, so maybe not. Of course not. I'm not saying go into every single part of every single episode. Like don't go into every single episode in the story and every single movie. Just give us like the more popular ones, because like I don't think anyone would really care if we didn't get if we didn't get like the filler part of, let's say, like Dende and them going to. I mean, no, that would actually be interesting if they went to Elder Kai, I don't know, or the Guru. I don't know what I'm talking about. That would be interesting, but I don't know. I was trying to think of something stupid that wouldn't matter, like them traveling on the spaceship. Like it'd be cool for like a quick little cutscene. Not even. They don't even have to do that as a cutscene, but something like that. Them traveling on the spaceship and get to name it like that. We could do without it, so they don't have to. Of course, I'm not saying have every single detail, but just give us a Xenoverse based story off of that. So don't do what they did with Janemba where base Vegeta beats him. Like, I don't know, I didn't see that many people bothered by it, so maybe it's not that big a deal, but it kind of bothered me. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So it should have been Gogeta there. But yeah, so give us more of that kind of stuff, and we're jumping, and it would make sense if it was Gogeta because we're jumping timelines, so it's not following the original timeline since we have our, because like Toa and Mira are messing up the whole timeline and everything. So you know, it makes sense if they don't get, like, if we can have Gogeta in that scene, and then, you know, later on we team up with Vegito and then Gotenks and stuff. So yeah. Alright, and then one more thing for the final boss. Now, I don't know what the final boss will be. I can't even give you a clue because I don't even know what characters, like, who's gonna be in the main story. If they do, like, I don't know if they ever find this video, which I doubt, or I'll share it around though and see what happens. But anyways, if they do have like Toa, Mira, and Demigod, Deborah as in the main villains, then maybe, I don't know, maybe we get, like, for the final boss though, I don't know, whoever the final boss is, we can get like the fused, not the fused Mira again, but maybe like some sort of fusion or something, or like just all of them teaming us at once, or I don't know, maybe like Demigod possesses Deborah or something, but then so does Toa and Mira. I don't know, just anything could be the boss, honestly. I don't know, but what they need to do is don't do what they did in these last two games, which is giving us, like, we fight the final boss, but then they're not playable. Like, what? That makes no sense to me. It's like, why would they give us the final boss but then not make it playable? Why? What were you thinking? And they did that twice in 2 games. Everyone got mad in the first game, so then why do it again in the second game? And they did the same thing too. Like, he had whole voice clips and everything. Like, they had special conversations with characters. He had voice clips. He even had his own move, but then they just didn't put him in the game. Twice. They did it with Demigod and then Super Mirror. I don't know why. Maybe they're saving for Xenoverse 3. I don't know, but all I know is for Xenoverse 3, they better not do that again. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but what I was saying earlier with the Future Gon and Bardock thing, you got to basically choose. It was like, you know, Bardock disappeared, so it's like, should we go look for him or just leave him be? And so, you know, you got to make choices like that. That should be how Xenoverse 3 kind of works for being good or bad. You get to make specific choices depending on who. Like, remember in Xenoverse 2, there was a scene where Turles was like, oh, do you want to come join us? We've got cookies, or, you know, whatever he said. He was like, you want to come join our side? You know, you'll get all the stuff you want. So then that should be a point where you can make the choice to either team up with Turles or team up with Goku. Like, if they were doing, I'm not saying that's going to be the exact scene, but in Xenoverse 2, that was the scene. So if they did the whole choice thing in Xenoverse 2, at that point, it should have been like you team up with Turles at this point, or you stay with Goku. Or maybe even if they want to do like a neutral path where you just kind of fight for yourself and do it, like, to get the neutral path, what you do is like you'd make bad choices but also good choices and like balance them out. So like maybe not exactly 50-50, but, you know, as long as it's not like a complete override, so it's not like 70% good and then 30% bad choices, you know, if it's kind of even more, so like, you know, 60-40 maybe, but not like complete domination where it's like 90% good then 10% bad choices. So, you know, but if it's not complete domination and it's kind of neutral, then maybe there's a neutral path, and then the ending you get is like, you know, you're not teaming up with either side, you're just kind of fighting for yourself, and then it like ends with whatever cutscene, you going off by yourself or whatever. And then Xenoverse, see, and then the different endings, I didn't even talk about that, I'm gonna talk about that right now though. But the different endings you get, so if you did good side, then of course you would defeat Toa and Mira, Demigod, whoever the boss is, hooray, you know, cheering, victory. And then like, you know, all the people in whatever hub world it is are gonna be like cheering you on and stuff. You'll be like, ooh, good job. And then Trunks officially makes you a time patroller and gives you the whole outfit and all that. So it's like, you know, folded up and stuff, and then he gives it to you, you bow, and then like the game ends, credits, and if they want to do another funny end scene like they did with Beerus and Whis coming to eat, something like that. But then bad ending could be time patrol is well, not like bad ending, but like if you chose the dark path or whatever they're gonna call it, that time patrol gets destroyed. You're like a time breaker now. You're working with Toa and Mira, and then it ends with them, like, you know, doing what they wanted to do, creating their own universe. And yeah, you're just like there with them. Maybe it doesn't show the whole process, but it shows like time, like the time that's getting destroyed, and then it shows you with the mask, and it like kind of zooms in, and, you know, not too much there, because I don't know, that's how dark paths usually are. It's just like Oh, good job. Now we've gotten all we want, my minion. And then it like zooms in on your face with the mask, and then it ends there. And then neutral path could be just you, like, you know, everything's like the time patrol isn't like as big now. Like there aren't as many members now, but there's also but also the bad guys are defeated or whatever. Or maybe they're still living. Or maybe both sides still live. Either way, like you don't defeat either one. They're both still there, and then you just kind of go off. Like it just shows your character like standing there or whatever, and then you just kind of walk away and, you know, live out your life. That's how it happens in whatever city you're in. You can like protect the city or whatever. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say there. So we talked about, you know, how the story should go, how it should go into like Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, GT the movies, how the final boss should be, you know, make them playable, how different endings could go, choices, good or bad path. And yeah, that was basically it. So this is part 1 of the series. Remember, talking about Xenoverse 3, and I'm gonna be talking about a lot of stuff. So I know that some ideas I have right now is, of course, this video story. Then I'm gonna talk about customizability, you know, custom characters, aesthetic stuff that like it doesn't affect the game that much, but it would just be really freaking cool if they added it. And then, you know, different game modes they could add, and, you know, stuff around the hub, how the hub could be, not should be, but how it could be. And, you know, those are the main points I have. I don't know if I come up with more, then I'll make videos based off of that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to get out there. So until the next video, the next Xenoverse 3 video, I'll see you guys later, and peace!